Hi, welcome to Wisdom Talks with Yasmin Ann. And my next talk is about when we come to that fork in the road. So, how do we choose which path we take and what affects our decisions? I had to look up the meaning. We always hear that fork in the road and all these different sayings. And so, what I found was it said a deciding moment in life or history, which means that it could be as simple as, should I eat that piece of chocolate cake or stick to my diet, or should I end my relationship or stay, etc. Well, whatever the situation is that has brought us to that fork in the road, we can either find ourselves stuck or choosing one path or another. So what is it that keeps us from moving forward? Fear was the first word that popped into my mind. The first fear is, am I making the right decision? And the second fear is all the what ifs that just flood our minds. What if I choose this path? What if I choose the other path? All the things that could happen or may not happen. And so we become overwhelmed with, those thoughts, and it becomes fear, and then we are standing there looking at the fork in the road. As an example, if I break off the relationship that has caused me discomfort, disharmony and unhappiness, will I experience loneliness? Will I hurt the other person? Will I be judged by others as being selfish? The list is as long as to all the fears that surface whenever we are at a junction in life and we need to make a decision. So these choices that we make on a daily basis, the simple little choices about eating that piece of chocolate cake or, not going to the store, those little things. I'm not talking about those things. Those we can get past. I want to talk about the ones that are life-changing, the ones that are really important. So you guys are familiar with Yogi Berra, who says when you come to that fork in the road, take it. Anyway, what influences our decision or lack of it? Why is it easier for some folks to simply take a breath and choose a path, and for others, they may spend their whole lives just being stuck at that fork? It all depends on the information, again, that we have filed in our hard drive, our lifetime of experiences. It always comes back to that. It's that hard drive, it's that computer, it's in our brain, that filing system, every single experience that affects how and why and whether we make decisions or choices in our lives. Every experience that we have throughout our lives, known or unknown, is filed in that hard drive in our brain. And every move, every action, through words, deeds, are all influenced by the experiences that are stored in our brains. That filing system, it just runs our lives. So as we move through our lives making choices big or small, whether we feel stuck or we feel free to move forward, it is all influenced by that lifetime of experiences and beliefs that's stored in our filing system. The good news is that we can change, or better yet, transform some of that information that might keep us stuck or confused, or even making choices that are not creating joy and peace in our lives. Here is where taking some time to search the files for beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you for your highest good can be beneficial in helping you ease into any decision-making situations in life. Number one, when you come to that fork in the road and you feel stuck, write down the choices that you have and the positive and negative outcomes you believe might occur. Writing is a very powerful tool. Sometimes we just have too many overwhelming thoughts flooding our minds, and when we try to make a decision in that moment, that's when we feel confused or we question the choice that we make. But when we can write it down, we have an opportunity to look at those choices and situation from a different perspective. It gives us a moment to just clear our minds and just look from that place of being the observer. Number 2, take some quiet time to relax. Still your mind and ask to see what belief or pattern is keeping you stuck. Number 3, trust whatever comes up for you and try to remember that the universe is always on your side and that you have the knowledge and wisdom to assist you in moving forward. Number 4, write down the thoughts that come up. For instance, if you became aware that as a child you were told that you were wrong every time you made a choice, then guess what? Later on in life, you would cringe every time you came to that fork in the road. I mean, there's so many other examples I could give you. So on one side of your paper, as you're writing these things down, write down the old belief or behavior that came up as you sat in stillness or in meditation or whatever works for you. You write down the old behavior. And on the other side, a belief that can transform that old behavior or pattern. As an example, the old belief, every time I made a decision, I felt judged. And the new belief on the other side of the paper, I am fully capable of making decisions and I trust in the outcome. Number 5, just close your eyes. Imagine that you are standing at that fork in the road, at that point where you need to make a choice in your life, and that you're holding in your right hand the old belief that is keeping you from moving forward. Just bless it, give it thanks for supporting you all those years, and just release it into the universe. So you are closing your eyes and you're imagining that you're holding this behavior and this pattern that's been holding you back in your right hand, and you are releasing it, letting it go. In your left hand, in our receiving hand, you're now holding that new belief, that new behavior that will help you to make a choice and support you on your path. Take that hand, your left hand, put it over your heart, and give thanks to the universe as you trust and you make your decision. Move forward with confidence and no judgment. So we're going to make irrational decisions that may not serve us. Absolutely. But what is important is that we are in awareness of what worked and what did not work. And now we have stored information in our hard drive that will guide us in the future. And those patterns and behaviors that we now have released leaves room for new behaviors, for new patterns. Simply put, any information and beliefs that we store in our hard drive is what will be our guiding force in the actions that we take in our lives. Taking one path or another as we come to that fork in the road is better than being stuck. Because one thing is for sure, we will learn and grow from each decision. You know, as Lewis Carroll said, one day Alice came to a fork in the road and saw a Cheshire cat in a tree and said, "Which road do I take?" "Well, where do you want to go?" was his response. "I don't know," Alice said. Then said the cat, "It doesn't matter." So another quote from Ernest Holmes. "Does this thing I wish to express more life, more happiness, more peace to myself, and at the same time harm no one? If it does, it is not selfish. That is the choice that I make." And from Mark DeWine, one of the most important things I have learned is that life is all about choices. On every journey you take, you face choices. At every fork in the road, you make a choice. And it is those decisions that shape our lives. And just to end with an affirmation, I trust that whatever choices I make will be the right ones for me. Thank you.